Let me start off by once again acknowledging the great job that our assistant coaches did in this process. Seems like each year that we work together, we get better and better, and there is a lot of crossing over, so to speak, and duo efforts when you get into this recruiting process. And I was just very, very impressed with the way our staff worked, and particularly in the evaluation process. You know, with limited numbers, there's obviously some very, very tough choices that we have to make, and as much information and evaluation and cooperative evaluation that we can do, the better the end product is. Also like to acknowledge how impressed I was once again with everyone that was involved in this process. When a prospective student athlete comes on campus, they interact with a lot of people. It may be on a fall afternoon out there on a game day with fans. It may be with just regular students. It may be with other student athletes, faculty, staff, you name it. It just seems like we've got a great feel going on at Colorado State, and it's a very positive thing to get these kids around these people. I'd like to thank Dr. Frank and Paul Kowalczyk. They're making this job easier and easier each year as we resource our football program better and better, continue to build facilities. This is making this job easier and easier to go out and recruit a top-notch class like we have. I said it when I was hired, this can be as good a football program as we want it to be. I think we're recruiting to move it in that direction, but we've got wonderful academics, a wonderful campus, a great community, and if we can get guys to take a visit, we feel very good about our chances of getting them to sign with us. We did not get everyone we wanted. I'd be worried if we did. There were some hard-fought battles. Some of them we chose to back away from. Sometimes the young man chose another university. That's going to happen in this process. And it's not over yet as we focus a majority of our attention to the February 2012 class and that process, which is well underway. There are still some recruiting battles. There's still some room left. There's still some gray shirt possibilities, so this one's not laid to rest as we speak. Geographically, we felt like this is our best effort in the state of Colorado since I've been back as the head coach with 5. Felt like we did a good job. That's what we would like to do every year in the state, and we'll try our darndest to do it. Texas, once again, was very, very good with 10. You know, the thing that helps without, it's hard to measure how important it is, but it's very important in this recruiting process, is getting a young man in your camp, getting a chance to work with him, you know, live, so to speak. And that's easier done, obviously, with prospects in the state of Colorado. We have good track record of getting them in camps. It's much harder thing to do out of state. However, because of the proximity of the state of Texas, and the seriousness that goes on in their high school football, we had a number of those guys in camp. I think that helped in that terms of the numbers there. We covered every inch of that state. If you're familiar with it, we were as far south as Del Rio, which is on the U.S.-Mexican border. We were as far north as Wichita Falls, Iowa Park, which is might as well be in Oklahoma, and we were all the way out west in West Texas as well. We continue to recruit Florida, California. California, again, probably a little better this year than it's been. That's been, you know, back to Coach Lubick's days, that's always been a very strong point for this football program. I'd like to rally it back where it is once again. We felt like we made a step forward in that area and improving our California recruiting. As always, we'll go anywhere and everywhere if need be. You know, a year before we were up in the state of Washington. This year we were in Missouri, we were in Chicago. So if there's a reason for us to go outside of our major target areas, we'll do so. Position-wise, we hit every position on the offense and defensive side. We target the best players. Sometimes you go a little heavy in an area. Sometimes you go a little light in the area. But I'd rather do that and recruit the best players and try to fix it the next year as opposed to just recruiting a guy because of a position. We felt like we did that. And as you know, there's always flexibility when a young man comes out of high school with where he'll end up. You know, as far back as Joey Porter being recruited as a wide receiver and then being a pass rusher at the college and NFL level. Crockett Gilmore last year I truly thought would challenge for playing time at tight end, and he just fit our roster better in the defensive line area, so that's where he ended up. So there is flexibility with these guys. We don't want to get too locked into the position that we list them as. So having said that, I'll start with the class. We signed 27. We're going to announce 27. There's one junior college player, but he's a 3-year junior college player. The other ones are high school, and we have 4 mid-year players, so to speak, that are in our program right now attending class and will be participating in our spring drill, spring football drill. So I'm going to start with those 4. The January enrollees: Dorian Brown, young man from Thompson Valley High School, very highly recruited guy. You know, injury his senior year. You know, obviously he didn't run the numbers his senior year like he had his sophomore and junior year, but just a tremendous football player. You know, the thing with Dorian is this has been a multi-year process recruiting him with his mom Kim and his uncle Mike, and just getting to know that family over a couple years. It's been a nice way to get to know their family, and we're certainly glad Dorian ended up with us. We think he's a very talented young man, big back, so to speak, and he'll challenge early. Garrett Grayson. Garrett was the other quarterback in Pete Thomas's high school class. We felt very, very good about Garrett. He's one of the top 25, I thought, drop back passers in the country. Very highly recruited kid. Wanted to come here. Pete committed first. We got Pete in mid-year, so we decided to push him back. What Garrett did was go down to San Antonio where his sister lived, trained in San Antonio, did not start his clock, so he will be a 5-year guy as he starts. Worked in the San Antonio area with Ty Detmer, who you guys know, you know, the BYU Heisman Trophy quarterback, and really gained a lot this fall from working with Ty. Colton Paulus, defensive lineman from Northern California. Felt like losing Guy Miller. We could use one more body in there that's played a little football like Colton has at the junior college level. Very high energy, high motor guy on tape. Just think he'll be a good addition. And again, we normally try to stay away from the community college recruiting unless there's a big time need, but felt like we needed one more as an interior defensive lineman. And again, the 3-year thing made it an easy choice on our part. Drew Riley was a member of our very first signing class, played out in Southern California at Valley Center a while back, actually on 3 different stints. Coaches him in high school. Drew's a very aggressive young man, took a Mormon mission, was out, so he's a 21-year-old true freshman. He's in school now, and he'll compete for a position at safety. He's got 4 brothers that were Division I athletes. We're going to sign his younger brother, who was on the championship CIF team in California as a quarterback. He will go on a mission and do just like Drew did. Now the guys that will enroll this summer, this fall: Keenan Adams is a kicker from Georgia that we had in camp. You know, very competitive kid off the field. Feel very good about him. He's actually a world-class archer. You know, it just has a lot to him. Very good student. Nailed a 52-yarder when it counted. And again, we had him in camp. We feel very good about Keenan Adams. Very strong leg, and the potential to both kick and punt made him a valuable target for us. Donnell Alexander is the running back from Missouri. Really a good running back build of, you know, 5'11", 215, going to be a 220-pound kid, very low center of gravity. Donnell was very, very highly recruited. Donnell was offered in the SEC, in the Pac-10, and in the Big Ten, recruited by the Big 12, 8.8 yards a carry. Mark Smith-Sams, who played linebacker here in the early 90s, lives in that area now, kind of has gotten to mentor Donnell a little bit, gotten to know the family real well. He was key in at least getting us started in that process. And you can see his dad was Derek Thomas, the all-pro pass rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs. Capri Bibbs, out of the Chicago area, suburban Chicago, very, very highly recruited Chicago Offensive Player of the Year. You know, set all sorts of records, as you can see, 520 yards in a game. Capri thinks he's coming out early to the NFL. He thinks he'll be here a couple years. He's kind of reminds me body type and the way he moves a little bit like when we took Marshall Faulk to San Diego State. Kind of has that type of suddenness and potential to be a 200-pounder. You know, maybe 210 at some point. Very, again, low center of gravity, and very, very good high school football player. Sam Carlson, out of Pooter, great family. Dad's a pastor up in Wellington. Again, there's no question in my mind, we know what we're getting here. Sam was in camp, has the body type to play any of the positions long enough to be an offensive tackle. Certainly could play inside, gives you that kind of awareness and smarts. I wouldn't even be surprised if he ended up as a center. Real good flexibility, good student. So we're happy to have Sam joining us. Trey Cassidy, a young man from outside of Houston. Again, was one of those guys I was talking about in terms of camp. Had him in camp, got to know him, committed him early before the bombardment started. He was offered by TCU a scholarship. That's not easy for us to go down there into that area and beat them on a kid. This is one. He's one of the top 100 players in Texas, according to the Houston paper. He's got the body type like Weston Richburg. That's really who he reminds me of. I'll show the tape tonight. Natty plays beyond the whistle almost. Just a good kid, Eagle Scout, very impressive family. Their Lee Club is the one up in North Texas. Lee was adopted by a family at a very, very young age, live up in rural North Texas. Very impressive kid. Lee played in a wing T offense, was more of a running back, slot back type of guy. And gave up all that, what he knew was going to be his college position, very unselfish. His senior year, they kind of had a switch over, went to a spread offense, and their new high school coach asked him to play quarterback, which obviously he was not going to do at the college level, but he agreed to do it. Very unselfish kid, and we think kind of reminds me a little bit of Josh Reed. What Josh Reed did coming out of LSU was kind of a running back, switched him over to receiver, kind of has that kind of thickness to him, but runs like a receiver. I think he's got a lot of flexibility for us in our program. Aaron Davis is a linebacker out of Los Alamitos High School. Los Alamitos, kind of towards Orange County, LA area. They put more NFL guys other than Long Beach Poly in the state of California than anybody. It's a big time high school program. Aaron was one of those guys that committed in the summer. He committed to the University of Washington and shut it down for a while. And we were able, like with Pete Thomas last year, to kind of open it back up late and get him to commit to us here. Turned down Northwestern as well. He's got some Polynesian to him. You can see he's related to the Tuyas Sopo family. I think that's how he originally committed up there so darn early. But we're very happy with Aaron Davis. DeAndre Elliott, another big-time high school program. Dallas Carter, the list of NFL guys goes on forever out of there. Very tall corner. Kind of reminds me of Sean Smith out of Utah a few years back, a 6'1 plus. Very long type of corner. Plays the ball really well. Probably could play offense, but we feel like we need to get, as we continue, like with Shaq Bell last year, to get more length at the cornerback spots. I think he's going to be good for us there. Very, very quiet kid. Very good family. Mom, you know, you can tell education's very, very important to that family. You know, two little sisters that you go in for a home visit and they're there studying. You know, very, very, it's a good home environment for him. I'm going to stumble on this one. Nu'uvali Fa'apito, a Polynesian linebacker out in the desert, La Quinta out towards past Palm Springs. I know his high school, as Larry Lewis does, his high school coach Dan Armstrong has been a friend of mine since the early 80s. Usually though, that area is a very strong recruiting area for San Diego State, but we were able to get in there. He's more of an inside backer type guy, great growth potential, and we're very happy that he's going to join us. Justin Hansen from Longmont, again, we knew Justin was good. We didn't put an early offer on Justin. He just kind of walked in the door to camp, and he was, you know, I almost feel embarrassed we didn't offer him earlier. I mean, he was 6'5", 285, and he ran 4'8", and just was knocking guys around on the boards. I mean, I would recruit Justin Hansen if I was at any school in the country, and he's right down the road there. But again, good family, and it's one of those deals where he was at every game. We got a nice relationship going. Coach Kerr, Coach Meyer, everybody got involved in it, and very, very fortunate to get him to commit to us. He could play offense or defensive line. Again, being a 4'8" guy, I'm not sure he couldn't be a 3 technique in there for us, but certainly has a big upside on the offensive line as well. Very, very strong kid, gonna, I think, challenge for the state wrestling title as he goes. And I've always said with those linemen, if you can get guys that wrestle, you rarely go wrong on that. Corey James, out of Del Rio, Texas, a linebacker. Corey had just an off-the-charts junior year. When you throw that tape on, if somebody said this kid's going to LSU or this kid's going to Florida State, it would be very, very believable off his junior year. He was heating up, a lot of action, chose not to commit early, went into a senior year and ended up hurting his leg, hurting a knee. He played on it the entire year. Just did not play as well. You'd still take him off his senior year, but it was not the national type of year that he had as a junior. But we're very confident that, like Dorian, he will heal up, and I think we've got ourselves a steal with him. His mom and dad, probably, I guess, in 30 years of coaching, I'm not sure I've ever met people like them. His mom was in a car accident about I guess it'd be a year and a half ago, and they didn't think she'd even get off a tube. And she's in a wheelchair now, but she can move her upper body. And just to watch it's a real lesson for all of us. She gives back to schools, she works, the dad. I mean, just a great story. Not sure I've ever met two more special people than this kid's parents. Blake Jones, Union High School, another big-time high school, 6A state champs in the state of Oklahoma. Tight end, again, his mom and his grandma came up with him. We had him in camp, again, because of the close proximity, and we're able to close this out very, very early. Dan Hammerschmidt did a nice job. We got this thing done before his season started. Ended up playing left tackle. They went to a non-tight end spread offense, so we played left tackle. We will start this kid at tight end for us. Joe Kowalik, again, another one of those four. Has got to be a record. 4 brothers, all Division I football scholarship players. You do the math on the Kowalik family, the money that saved them. But Joe is the biggest, maybe the best of the Kowaliks. We've got Mike as a linebacker on our team. We had Chris as a tight end when I first got here. But Joe, again, a defensive lineman out of the Boulder area, Louisville, and one of the top 10 prospects in the state of Colorado. Very highly recruited, and again, we had Joe in camp. Charles Lovett is a receiver from Tampa, Hillsborough High School. Very productive junior year. It's hard to be first, second, third state, all-state in the state of Florida when you start talking about 350 Division I senior athletes, let alone the juniors and sophomores. This kid, as a junior, had such a good year. He was second-team all-state. I mean, he was roaring out of his junior year. He's not real tall, so it wasn't like he was generating Florida and Florida State, but he was getting some big-time interest. And then again, like Lee Clubb, His high school coach asked him to play quarterback his senior year, knowing that that was not his college position, and the kid unselfishly did it. We think we got a steal in this one. You can see the suddenness and the receiver skills that you need off his junior year, and just a tremendous kid. Trenton Matthews, right there on the basketball court. In fact, he's playing Churchill High School there, which is one of the best teams in the state of Texas. Trenton's a safety. You know, Judson High School's outside of San Antonio, another very, very good high school football program. Very special kid, got a presence to him. We think he's got the size to come in and compete at the safety level. He was offered by a bunch of schools. We really got into a pretty good fight for him. Interesting thing about Trenton is they are rebuilding that high school right across the way, and it's going to open up this spring. They're going to go into the new Judson High School, and of all the people in that high school senior class, they asked this kid to make the address to the student body with the new high school. Just has that presence that you can tell when you're around a very, very short period of time. George Mau, the fullback from Valor Christian. If you remember the name, his uncle, Veely, was the defensive lineman. I still have a nightmare about it, that tipped that Moses Marino pass back in 95, 96, whatever it is, out at Hughes, and ran it 60 yards for a touchdown for CU. His uncle now is a CSU guy because of George. But anyway, true fullback, kind of reminds us of Zach Paga. You know, has skills to carry the ball, has skills to catch the ball, but those are all icing on the cake. When you look at a fullback, obviously he's got to be able to go put his face on a linebacker and knock somebody out of there, which he does. Very aggressive kid. You know, fullbacks aren't highly recruited. They're hard to find. They're hard to find at high school and college. People aren't playing with them. We're one of the schools that still does use them, and we were fortunate to come across a high school program as good as George's and find a fullback that we think can come in and contribute early. Stephen Michael is a linebacker from Jones High School in Orlando. They'll have 6 or 7 Division I signees out of there this year. They'll have 6 or 7 next year and the year after. You know, I was going to the high school. It's a stone's throw from the Citrus Bowl, which is not a very good area of Orlando by any stretch of the imagination. And sometimes when you get into those inner city type situations, you kind of gear up. You know, here we go. You know, we're going into this high school a little bit. Walked onto that Jones High School. I couldn't tell you how impressed. IB school, right there in the middle of that area. Everybody in class, everybody doing honors and AP work, and really kind of a special place. And his head high school coach I've known, Kennard Lang. Kennard played for the University of Miami, but I got to know him in the NFL. He played for 10, 12 years. I think he even did a year in Denver, but played a long time for the Cleveland Browns, and it was good seeing Kennard and catching up with him. Isaiah Norton is a defensive lineman. Kimball High School in Dallas, very good high school basketball program, of which he's the 7th or 8th guy. You know, big-time 3-star recruit. The thing with Isaiah, if you walked in here, you know, he's all 6'5". You'd think he was about 250 pounds. He looks very lean. We would put him on the scale right now, and he'd probably be over 300. And then he could walk down to that Moby Arena and stand flat-footed and jam it behind his head. I mean, he's very, very explosive athlete. He doesn't know how good he can be. He's got big-time upside. And you can see very, very highly recruited defensive player of the year in that area. Robert Nunn played for a high school program, Bastrop, Texas. I thought Robert was going to Oklahoma State. I think the reason we were in on Robert was because we signed Bernard Blake out of there last year. He's a true receiver, played on a team you know, that went deep into the playoffs in the state of Texas. And you could see yards per catch and production. He's not a projection at receiver. He's got the height, got the top end speed, very, very productive. And again, we signed Robert. Kevin Pierre Lewis, again, down to Del Rio. Kevin's brother played at the university. One of his brothers played at the University of Florida. In fact, just got done. They're a Haitian family. He lives with his brother. His brother's a border guard down there, right on. I mean, it literally is right on the border down there, Del Rio. But played for very good. Same team as the linebacker. You know, played everything, offense, defense. We think he'll come in and contribute very quickly on the defensive side of the ball at a safety spot. Gives us some cover skills at safety. Bo Riley is Drew's brother. We had Bo in camp. He's a 6'5", 6'4", 6'5" quarterback, very productive, played in the CIF finals in San Diego. We like everything about him. Again, a family of brothers that they're all Division I football players. Bo will plan on going on a mission, and we'll revisit him 2 years down the road. Devon Riddick, running back from Abilene, you know, family that lives with his mom, grew up in New York. Then right before high school, moved out to Abilene. His mom's a prison guard out there. Just a very, very humble kid. 6 foot, but one of those guys got 6'6" wingspan, and you know, a lot of places he could end up. But if you watch him on tape, he's that high knee, kind of Roger Craig type of running style. That's very, very impressive, and had a big time senior year at a very, very good high school football program. You can see 7 yards of carry, and first team All-West Texas. Connor Smith is a quarterback from the Houston area. Again, we had him in camp. His skill set is second to nobody. You know, he's a 6'5" guy. It's hard to find a tall guy that can get the ball out with the speed he gets it out, can make the throws, has the arm strength to make every throw. You know, just a very, very talented kid. Is raw. He's rated 12th best player or quarterback in Texas, but good athlete, strong, has it all, and I'm very anxious to get a chance to work with this young man, because I think the upside's extremely big. So having said that, that is our class. Like I said,